The Halfbrick Show.
Welcome to the Halfbrick Show, the show that delivers you the half-brick culture, the craft, and the conversation straight into your ear holes. I'm Fran, currently navigating the ever-changing waters of social media without a map.
Fun. And I'm Aiden. Currently, I'm sailing the review seas of a certain game that released recently. There's a lot of reviews for that. And as always as well, we're joined by the amazing producer Carmen, once again, to make sure things run smoothly and to bring the show up
That's
another
me.
notch.
Hi. I thought that today I'd borrow a page from Fran's book and comment on the cold because it's snowing here in Spain, which is odd. I don't
Ooh.
think people usually think that it snows in Spain. I mean, at least not me.
No.
True.
We have that. And I don't really like the snow, but it is the perfect weather to curl up with a good game and an even better podcast, which we have here. So if you need any suggestions, why not listen to the Halfbrick Show? And well, please remember that you can still send us your thoughts, game recommendations, episode ideas, and more to our lovely email, which is theshow@halfbrick.com.
Yeah, don't forget it. We love to get your lovely emails in as well. And we will reply to them. Isn't that right, team?
100%.
Well,
within a day or two.
That's because he needs the statistics for his job to, So yeah, the more you send in, the better it looks on Aiden. So
please, yeah.
Well, this week we are talking to Elana, who is a member of the marketing team, and we are super happy to have her on the podcast.
Who the brick are you?
Who the brick are you?
And welcome. Hello.
Guys, welcome. I mean, thank you.
No, welcome us as well. Thank you.
Welcome to me. Welcome to you. Welcome everyone. Yes, so my name's Elana. I'm from sunny Queensland in Australia, and I'm the editor and motion designer in the marketing team here at Halfbrick.
Do you wish it was cold right now, like Carmen and Fran? Because, Queensland.
I do. It's very warm. Very, very warm. Would love some snow right now.
Really? It's always the debate we have when we're talking to someone in Australia versus Spain or the UK. It's like, would you rather be sweating or would you rather be freezing? It's that old, continuous debate that we keep. This and that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the grass is greener or cooler or warmer, depending on what side you're on. Apparently, we wouldn't like the cold. I still disagree.
No, I disagree that you would freeze, you would fall over on ice. You'd think the snow was great until you have to walk through it and then fall on your face.
You can wear crazy scarves and have like nice warm drinks. It's nice and cozy.
Stay inside and not worry about walking anywhere.
Take layers off if you get too warm.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, talking about this, Elana, you're quite equipped to talk about this, seeing as you've been on your travels to and from the sweatiness to the freezingness. So you are quite equipped to have this conversation. Which one is better, seeing as you've been globe-trotting recently?
Oh, yeah.
I would say that I love the cold and the snow, but I think that's because it's novelty for me. So I don't have to do it all the time. When I do it, it's fun. I get to play in the snow and do fun things. Whereas if I had to live in it all the time, maybe I'd think a bit differently about it.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair.
Something to think about, isn't it, Aiden? Imagine
it is.
When you live in a country like the UK, when you're not quite guaranteed summer, but when you do, it can last maybe 1 year. one of your years, it could last maybe 3 or 4 months. The next year, it might last 3 or 4 days. You never quite know what you're going to get. So
yeah, It's just so hard to agree with you guys when I'm always sitting here on the verge of sweating in a seat, doing nothing.
Air
But
conditioning unit.
yeah, one day. That is the plan. For now, it's 2 fans that I'm hoping aren't coming through to the podcast. Ceiling fan and pedestal as well. So sorry if they
Well,
do.
moving swiftly on. What is it? You've touched upon briefly what you do at Halfbrick. You fancy getting more into the finer details?
Yeah, sure. So yes, I do editing and motion design. So I'm more used to editing other people's interviews rather than being in the hot seat. But that's exciting, and I know that I can ask Carmen to edit out any blunders or make it into a blooper reel for me.
We never edit that. They keep in fact, we highlight them and make them features.
Fran sends it into a short.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, that's what I want to hear. It's good stuff. But yeah, so for those of you that may not know what motion design is, it's like a subset or a branch of animation, where you're taking things like graphic design and static designs and using animation techniques to move them, to tell a certain story or get a certain idea across. So it could be logos, titles, transitions, or it also can bridge into character stuff and background stuff as well. But yeah, so my role kind of encompasses a lot of different things. It could be sound design as well, color grading, editing, storyboarding, and VFX as well.
Oof. That sounds huge. Like I know what you do, and it still sounds huge hearing you say it. Just
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of different things. A big range of stuff, but it keeps it interesting and exciting.
So we know what you've done. What have you done? So the listeners can actually sort of visualize your creations.
Like check something.
Yeah. What?
Like on the YouTube?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So I've made some of the trailers for the Down the Man series. I've made logo animations for Halfbrick Sports Football and for Jetpack Joyride Racing. Made the trailers for Bluey's Quest for the Gold Pen and the promo videos for Halfbrick Plus cards, and then promo videos for crossovers and all that fun stuff as well.
Yeah, you've basically touched most of the projects that his Halfbrick has been a part of. And I will say one of my favorite, and I've always told you this, one of my favorite videos that you've ever done is the Dan the Man Series 3 trailer, which is out there on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. It's my favorite just being entity that you've ever done. And listeners, go out there, find it again. It's the Series 3 of Dan the Man animation. It's just so dynamic and in your face. Like, it'll always be my favorite thing you've ever done. Even though everything you do is great, I'll always say that. I'm your biggest fan.
Jetpack Racing logo, so smooth.
Yeah.
It's actually, and football. Logo animations are so cool. That looks so good.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I have a lot of fun doing it, and I hope that sort of comes across in the work. Like, for the Dan the Man Season 3 trailer, I just had to watch all the Season 3 episodes a heap of times before they were released, which was really exciting, and then pull that into a trailer, which was a lot of fun.
I feel like we need to rewatch that or something. The way you just described it, Fran,
we'll put it on we'll put it on the video for this
in the show notes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah, and then I'll come back and I'll watch this, and I'll go watch the original, and I'll like and comment like a good YouTube patron.
Right, as you should.
Yeah,
as you should.
Definitely.
But yeah, there's certainly a lot of variation. Heap of different projects and so many different games that we have here at Halfbrick too, which is really cool because it means there's so many different types of videos and types of projects we get to work on here.
Yeah, I mean, that's all of those projects that you just listed. What's the time frame for that? Because it seems like so much. But is that like you've been with Halfbrick how long now? Would we say? I can't remember off the top of my head.
About 18 months, I think.
which is crazy to me. Like you've touched all those projects in less than 2 years. Oh, it's really cool.
Yeah,
But
well, we
obviously,
just always have a lot happening, which is always really exciting, and yeah,
mm,
it's great.
it's a benefit of all the games that Halfbrick has going at the same time, which I feel like we should maybe just reiterate that, because we do get people who sometimes are a little confused that Halfbrick makes multiple games at the same time,
Yeah.
for no particular reason.
No, but we've got multiple teams that work on different projects. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's a Dan the Man team. You know, there's a Halfbrick sports football team and a Jetpack Joyride racing team. And, you know, there's multiple teams. Like we spoke to Wolfgang, who's, you know, part of the Gun Crypt team. And, you know, I guess if people look back at the podcast, we've had, you know, different people on from different projects. So,
Yeah.
you know, Elana works with everyone, you know, which is kind of cool, really. You get to work on so much stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the really cool things about working in marketing is you get to touch all the games. You get to meet all the devs, find out more about the games, and play them loads and get to promote them as well, which is really, really cool.
I don't know if we touched on it. Games as a whole. Have you been in games for long? Before Halfbrick?
No. Yeah, Halfbrick was my first job in the games industry. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So why Halfbrick?
Well, I do have a bit of a connection to Halfbrick, which people may not know about exactly. So I originally studied at film school, sort of specialized in cinematography and editing. But my first introduction to Halfbrick was actually when I was working as a camera operator on a documentary about Halfbrick called Play to Win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also actually a really good documentary, if I remember.
Yeah, it's a really great doco.
Yeah, it is quite.
I think it's on Apple TV. If anyone wants to check it out.
But
yeah,
wait,
so
seriously? I thought it was just like
so.
a YouTube one. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look that up. That's
You thought her skills would just end up on YouTube? It ends up on Apple and YouTube.
Oh man, I gotta jump into this one. Alana, there's a question that we ask everyone.
Oh no.
Unbiased answers, please. Completely unbiased. But you know, games, Halfbrick. What is your favorite game of all time?
Well, Aiden, you already know the answer to this one.
I wasn't sure if it was still right, because I warned Fran about this. So please give us your answer. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as always, I could say so many games that I have as favorites.
Yeah.
And I also have my favorite Halfbrick games as well, which I can go into afterwards.
Yes,
but my
please.
favorite game is actually Ratchet and Clank.
No, it's not.
Go.
No, it's not.
And I know it's been mentioned on this podcast multiple times, but that's because it's such a good game.
Alana,
so
I was hoping you were going to say like Stardew Valley or something.
I mean, I also love Stardew Valley. It's very
Can we just talk about that one instead?
I am playing that at the moment.
How much did you pay her, Aiden, to say that?
I believe it or not, nothing. And I think that's why when Elana first joined, I feel like you and I knew we would get along whenever we got to work together, which isn't a lot for customer support and video and all that stuff. But it's still just good to know that there's always a friend out there somewhere in the Ratchet and Clank fan base.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of the first things we talked about, I think, like in our very first meeting together.
Yeah, because I think
straight away we were just like, yes.
Yeah.
How many figurines do you have?
Well, one of the go-tos, when a new person joins the company, if we're ever having like, you know, an introductory meeting to introduce ourselves, what is your favorite game is like my go-to question, because you know that someone's working at a game studio. So really the best answer you ever could have given then and now, Alana. So thank you.
You're
what
so
about
welcome.
your Halfbrick games though?
Did you ask me that question, Aiden?
Probably. Well, we definitely had it a couple of times since, but I don't know about when you very first started.
No. And yet somehow
But-
we're still talking. So,
yeah.
because I didn't say
I
Ratchet
will
and
tell
Clank,
you-
that was for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if that was the case, it would only be Elana that I ever spoke to. So you got to branch out.
When
But
you
yeah,
start a
yeah,
fan club.
please. Favorite Halfbrick game of all time, if you want to bring that up as well.
Well, again, it's hard to pick just one.
Mm.
But because Ratchet and Clank is, one of my favorite games, I love like PS1, PS2 games. It's what I grew up playing. Sort of like action platformer games, and so that's why I also love Dan the Man. I think
No.
it was
Yep.
actually super fun game, super fun storyline. I think is really awesome. But I also love, Bluey's Quest. It's such a fun game, another fun action game.
Yeah.
And then I also love JJ Racing. Jetpack Joyride Racing is super fun as well. And
I feel like, yeah,
yeah,
it's just each one has its own quality, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
they're all so different. But I grew up playing Crash Team Racing and Mario Kart. So I feel
yeah.
like Jetpack Joyride Racing is another like character-driven racing game, which is just makes it really fun. Takes it to that next level of fun.
Definitely. How was that, friend? Was that an okay amount of Ratchet and Clank talk? I think that's reasonable.
Yeah,
I'll cut it off
I'm-
there. Last
I'm-
time I say it.
No. I'm good with that. Yeah.
I will
Thank
say
you.
though, I will add about Ratchet and Clank though.
Oh, please.
Oh.
The reason why it's so good and why I loved it, well, there's many reasons, which is like amazing worlds you can visit, great storyline of funny characters. But I also loved all the gadgets you could use. So they've got all these wild, wacky gadgets you can use. Like there's this one called the Groovatron, where you fire it, it makes all your enemies dance uncontrollably.
Yes.
I feel like, in a way, Halfbrick games have a lot of wacky gadgets as well. Like when you think
Yeah.
about Jetpack Joyride, you can get
Yeah.
a jetpack that shoots ramen or shoots
Yeah.
pancakes. And
Yeah.
I think that's just so much fun.
Yeah. See, I think that's fair. That's probably why we like it so much. Because Halfbrick games also have those same qualities. It's just like perfect melding. Soundtracks as well, Halfbrick soundtracks. Not to go into our own soundtracks too much, but they are so good. Like,
Yeah,
just go listen to those on
incredible.
Apple Music or Spotify. There's the Jetpack Joyride theme. Still around. Still great.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah. But thank you.
What would you like to see as a movie adaptation?
I would love to see, and this could also be controversial, but Zelda, but not as a movie adaptation because that is coming, but
Yeah.
as a TV series. Like I think if it was like
Oh.
a 2D 3D combo similar to like Arcane or something
Yeah.
in style,
Oh.
be quite cool.
See,
Arcane
in my
is pretty
head,
great.
when you said that, I was thinking, okay, this might be controversial. Game of Thrones style. So,
Oh,
like,
whoa.
what was
Okay.
that woe for? Like, I could see
Like
this.
Game of Thrones Zelda?
Yeah, but it
So
could be
live
a
action.
bit, a little bit gritty. I could see it, a bit dark.
I could see it.
Yeah,
was, any company
Majora's
other than
Mask was
Nintendo.
ghastly dark. I could,
It was dark.
That's true. Yeah.
yeah. Imagine
Mm.
Game of Thrones style Majora's Mask Zelda. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Maybe the
It'd be
movie,
scary.
the
Yeah.
live action movie coming will lean into that tone potentially.
Oh, I'd hope
So
so.
is that not going to satiate you, Elana? The live action one? Are you going to see that and hope that it'll fill that need?
I will definitely watch it.
Yeah.
I'm just really curious to see how they would do Link's character, considering he never talks in the games. So is he just going to not talk in real
Yeah.
life in live action? Like I just don't know how that's going to work. But
I
I will
hope he
definitely
doesn't.
watch it, and I'm curious to see.
Okay. Video game movie question again. Because there's just so many questions around it. What's the best video game movie that you've seen so far? And if you haven't watched the Ratchet and Clank movie, have you seen any others?
I haven't seen it, but I'll add it to my list. But again, this is a TV show rather than a movie, but I think Arcane is an excellent series that they've adapted to TV.
Both
It's
seasons?
just so beautifully done with the mix of 2D and 3D again. And it's a really, really great show. And I think sometimes I feel like video games translate better to shows because there's a little bit more time to sort of flesh out the characters, get into the story more, rather than sort of rushing through a movie in 90 minutes or so.
I like the Mario movie. I would actually like to recommend that because the animation was so lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch that as well. I haven't seen it, but I'll add it to my list as well.
So cute.
Mario movie, Fallout TV show.
Castlevania. That's my new obsession. Yeah.
The anime?
I had never seen that. I'm
Nice.
sorry. And now I am obsessed with it. I have binge watched it.
No, I think that's fair. We need to get some fully produced Halfbrick TV show, like another, Jetpack, something like Fruit Ninja, those shorts from the past. I wasn't around when they were made. I don't think any of us were, but they seem cool. Can we get more Fruit Ninja world building? I'm just saying.
I'm hesitant to say anything to make any promises.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
But there's a Ballad of Barry Steak Fries.
That's right,
Season
for
1.
JJ2.
So,
that was actually really cool. And that was during our time, wasn't it?
That was during our time.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
People still ask questions about that.
Yeah? What questions? Can we answer them on the pod if we get a relevant person?
Yes, I will not be able to answer them for you, but there will be someone else who could answer them for you.
Interesting.
Bring him on.
Mm-hmm. I'm writing that down for a future episode. Okay. All right, that's all the movie questions I've got. Thanks, Elana.
All the good questions.
The one video editing related guest, so we had to bring in all the movie questions we had.
He's been waiting for someone to answer these video questions, and now he finally was able to offload them.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is not part of the podcast, by the way. I need to go and let my dad in from downstairs. Somehow he's locked himself out.
Can we keep this in the podcast? This is interesting. This is real life.
My dad is in the building. Right, Elana. This is the bit this is the bit that I know Elana's been waiting for because, this is the reason she's on the podcast, right?
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's the most famous quiz of all time. This or that. I give you 2 options. You tell me which one you're choosing. I mean, as simple as that, really. No context, no explanations, unless you want to defend yourself, of course. Are you ready to play this
Yes.
or that?
I'm ready. I'll struggle to give one-word answers, but I'll try.
You mean I'll allow you to confer with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But, of course, this or that is like a lightning round, so the quicker the better, I guess. Right. After Effects or Premiere Pro?
After Effects.
Yeah.
Sorry, Premiere. If you've ever tried to rotoscope in Premiere, you know why I've chosen After Effects.
That answer's for the real ones, guys. That answer was for me.
I'm not a real one.
Storyboards or I'll figure it out as I go along?
Definitely storyboards. Yeah, storyboards are essential if you're doing anything in post-production to help you keep on track and to help you get the vision for what you're going to make before you start making it.
Spoken like a true After Effects preference user.
Yes.
30-second trailer or 90-second trailer?
That's a hard one.
Is it, Elana?
It is.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Speaking to a head of social media, I should say 30 seconds. that's that's better for engagement.
Correct answer.
And it is fun to do 30 seconds to see how much fun you can pack into 30 seconds. So
a timeline zoomed all the way in, or a timeline zoomed all the way out?
all the way out. I need to be able to see bigger picture for what I'm working with. Yeah.
Oof. I guess. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that one. I didn't mean to chime in. Okay.
But then I use all these shortcuts to zoom in and out, all the time. But if I had to choose one, it would be zoomed all the way out.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so final question. Would you rather be an incredible video editor, but every file you ever make has to include the word duck? Or be an average video editor, but the duck is gone forever? And just to be clear,
the file name, did you say?
I'll read it again.
Sorry.
Would you rather be an incredible video editor, but every file you ever make has to include the word duck? Or be an average video editor, but the duck is gone forever? And just to be clear, once the duck is gone, you can't ask about it ever again.
I would say yes to the duck. I really value proper file naming conventions, but I would be happy to make that my trademark.
Yeah, because are we talking like the word duck has to show up within the trailer as well? So like Dan the Man Duck, if you're making like a Dan the Man trailer, is that also part of it?
Oh, you mean in the actual title of the trailer? I thought you just meant.
Or somewhere in a video file that you make.
Every file ever has to include the word duck. So anything you do has to have the word duck in it.
Blend it in with the grass.
Would still choose duck because I think you'd be able to find creative ways to include it.
Yeah.
And I know you would as well.
Sounds like a fun challenge. Maybe I'll start doing it from now on.
Yeah, find the duck.
What have I done? I've done something cool.
Video.
Yeah, next trailer you do, I want to know if I can find the word duck in it now.
Yeah.
Well, that'd actually be so good. Yeah, that's good. Maybe the comments could tell us. And if we want to talk about comments, our next segment, guess the community comment. Elana, I don't know if you've seen this one, but I'm sure you've seen all the comments on any video ever.
Yes, I have.
We get a lot of them. So we've got a comment for you. We're going to read it out, and you got to tell us if it's a real one or if it was made up by Fran, myself, or Carmen. Should be easy if you've seen a lot of YouTube comments, but we've tripped up a lot of people. I think the ratio is probably more people have gotten it wrong than right. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Someone fact check me, but it feels like that's the way it's been going recently.
Yeah, someone in the comments needs to fact check because we won't do it.
No, yeah. By the time we stop recording, this will be wrong. But you can add to the win ratio, surely. All right. So here's the comment. I'll just read it as is. Quote, I've been playing Jetpack Joyride since 2015. Please heart this. End quote. Is that real or fake?
That sounds real to me.
Sounds real?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yep.
Real? Oh, unfortunately, Elana, that one is fake. And I'm actually so proud of that one. I didn't chuck any emojis in. Well, comments fact check me on that, but I didn't see it.
I mean, yeah, it's true. I'm sure someone somewhere out there has probably
Well,
wrote that somewhere.
It's a little tricky because Jetpack's release date wasn't 2015. It was 2011. Yeah, 2011. So it's not
Yeah.
actually the original date. So it's a bit of a random one for someone to be like, "Oh, I've been playing since 2015."
Well, somebody
how
could
I
have
was
been
like-
playing
That's
since
why it's
2015.
such a good trick one. I'm really
Yes.
I
proud of it.
think, yeah, I think to be honest, that's quite a cruel one. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not happy with that, Aiden.
Oh no, I need like a boo sound effect. I feel like I've just
Yeah,
Ah.
I'm sorry,
In Aiden's
Elana.
defense, though, it is a good test to check whether I know how long Jetpack Joyride has been around.
That was the goal. But
Yeah, but
did I
so
have to
But I
Google it?
knew after working on the documentary that it was older than 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
yes, but that particular person could have been playing it since 2015.
Yes.
That's why it's so good. I'll be called the villain for this one if it means I make some of the best
Yeah.
community comments.
Boo, boo, Aiden,
Yeah, go on.
villain.
I feed on the hate. I work in customer support.
This is an outlet
Yeah, nothing phases
for
Aiden.
him, so we had
Yep.
to let him.
He's used to getting the abuse.
We give him a little bit of power, and this is what he does with it. I'm going to write down that date tree.
Yeah.
So I hope no one who is going to be a recent guest listens to this episode.
I mean, do you
Yeah.
even get support tickets or you just write them yourself? Come on, Aiden.
It's an endless loop of hate that I give myself, and then I get mad at myself. So I write more hate to myself. Confirmed. Definitely real. No, we actually get. I actually can't. The next bit, we get this bit a lot, but we won't say. I'll let Carmen get to it. Sorry, you'll know when you hear it. It's another comment that comes through.
Yeah.
It's in the YouTube. It's in our ticket system. It's
In our brains
I
constantly
would
when we
argue
sleep.
is the
Yes.
single most important question one can answer in the Halfbrick Show. Elana, where's Dan the Man 2?
Well, I don't know where Dan the Man 2 is, but I'd like to think that Dan himself is off training somewhere, like Rocky style, or like
Oh,
off in
yeah.
a driving range practicing his golf, just keeping really fit,
Oh,
getting ready for Dan the Man 2.
right.
Nice.
Yeah. Because he was taught how to play golf, wasn't he?
Yeah.
By Myron. I like to think he's just a golf course. Yeah.
Yeah. Just keep
That's
him
what you
fit,
do, isn't
keep him
it?
busy while he's waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Alright.
he was really
I
bad
respect
at
that.
golf at first. So he's going to need a lot of training.
We'll start saying that. That's a good
That
answer.
was
We'll
the
start
best
saying that one to the support tickets that come through. Yeah.
Playing golf.
Playing golf. Yeah.
Love customer support.
I mean, if anyone wants to play golf with the customer support team, by all means. Final thought question, Elana, because we've filled a lot of air with Ratchet and Clank time, so we'll get to the final question. What is one thing that working in the games industry, even if it's only been with Halfbrick, has taught you that wasn't in the job description?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I think what I've learned is that it's important to stay flexible and curious as well, because there's so many different elements and things that need to come together to create a game and launch a game. So many different people working together for like the one vision of the game. And the good thing about the games industry is that everyone, and particularly at Halfbrick, is so friendly, so willing to answer your questions, so willing to share their knowledge or just have a chat, which is just awesome. So sometimes if you're in motion design or editing, you can be encouraged to niche down, which is where you really, really specialize in one thing. Or you can become more of a generalist, which is more of what's encouraged here at Halfbrick, where you get to almost make a broader impact on a project and perhaps take different tasks and roles that you wouldn't normally do. So, like, for example, since coming here, I've started to learn Unreal and Unity, which has been really, really great, and something I wouldn't do if I was just focused on video editing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's true.
so
Did you pick up some of that as well, Fran? You've been doing a bit of on
Yeah.
Unity. Yeah.
Well,
as
yeah.
was
I
saying.
mean, me and Elana kind of like were helping each other out at the beginning, because we almost felt like it benefited both of us, especially when she needed to, gain access to capturing video. For me, it was useful to gain access to capturing little, not only just images, but video pieces for social media, because you can get really close up into the game to find those, flashy images and close up
Yeah.
shots and stuff.
Yeah.
I can
But
find all
yeah,
the Easter
like,
eggs in the JJ Racing tracks.
yeah,
Or someone
well,
wrote duck. No.
well, no, we were talking to Joseph on the last episode because he was helping both me and Elana, like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. If I agree with what Elana said, like you can learn stuff like that because that's, I wouldn't have thought Unity would have been something I would have picked up if I was just, social mediaing all the time. So
That's so good.
Yeah, and everyone's just so willing to help out too, which is just great. Everyone's so friendly and lovely, including you guys.
Aw.
Stop it. Who put that in the
Aw.
script? No.
No need to flatter us. You're
did,
already
Aiden.
coming off as a very nice person, and I'm sure the listeners will love you. You don't need to butter us up. It's okay. We know we ask the difficult questions.
You're so
Yeah.
nice and have the best community comment tricks that I've ever seen in a podcast.
Yeah, as long as there's no more community comment tests, then yeah.
No, that
No.
was
You
the
guys are
final
the best.
question of the actual show. You've made it.
Yeah. The next
Made it to
stuff
the end.
the next stuff is us basically saying how great you are for coming on the show, and we thank you. So
Yeah.
it's like us saying it back at you. So and it's true. You're one of those people that you has the pleasure of basically being able to touch all the products, and has impact on every Halfbrick game, and so
Yeah.
everyone gets to see all your work. And I hope the listeners, will go and have a look throughout YouTube and stuff and look at the trailers you've done. And somehow you seem to remain very calm, which is impressive and very suspicious at the same time. So, we appreciate you joining us on this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I hate to mention duck again, but sometimes it is like a duck where your legs are going fast underwater and you're calm on top.
I appreciate the duck analogy. Honestly, we need more. I try and get as much duck in each podcast as possible. So if you want to add more duck, I'm here for it, girl. I'm here for it.
Revelation for me. I did not know that. I did not realize the duck was a common thread. Like now you've said it, I'm like, of course, there's a duck.
Of course, have you not noticed? You go back and you'll notice there's a little bit of a duck theme going on.
Yeah, there
slightly
is.
unintentionally to start with, but then I was like, nah, I'm carrying this stuff on.
Did you have like a pet duck or something? What's the origin story of this duck obsession?
Ducks are cool. There was no origin story, just ducks are cool, right?
Deep lore.
Well, I think ducks are cool.
Yeah.
In the chat, sorry, not chat. No, it is a chat. Anyone in the comments, this is not a live stream.
Not live,
if it was, oh my goodness, what would we do? At some point,
maybe
maybe
so interesting.
Yeah, maybe at one point we'll do a special live thing. But anyway, in the comments, let me know who is a duck fan. And if you have a story about a duck, tell us.
Feel free to write to us as well if it's too long. I had a pet duck, so I am all for the
Oh.
duck
Oh. Well, there you go.
lovers out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
There you go. It's just I just didn't know.
you just like them, especially when you go to certain restaurants, right? Very cool ducks.
Oh, to eat?
What? You guys don't eat duck?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I do. I love it personally.
Yeah.
I just thought we're thinking
mean,
about like the cute
I
The
was
fluffy
thinking
duality in
flag
the
of
men.
light.
You have to see
That's
both the
true.
light and the dark.
It only took it only took until episode 10 to get to the duality of man. That's pretty good.
And I
that
was
a
the
good
one
pun.
who said it. I'm sorry that you had to see
Yeah.
this, Elana, and to listen to it. But again,
I just want to see a photo of your
I
duck.
will definitely try and ask my parents for it. So I was very small. Yeah, it was very nice. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining us again, Elana. I think Fran put it beautifully, but I also admired you a lot because without you, I don't think the Halfbrick Show would exist tangentially, since you were one of the first people to actually watch the first episode and give me your tips. And yeah, so she's like been our fan since day one.
Yeah,
Wow.
huge fan, and it's really exciting to see how you guys are evolving it and running with it and taking it, and exciting to see where it goes. And thanks so much for having me on.
It was great.
Yeah.
very welcome.
Always
Tippy.
room for another fan of that which shall not be said again. All right, yeah, no. Brilliant. Thank you so much for being here. And to the listeners as well, as usual, we hope it's been another episode that you can look back on with nostalgia. And thank you all for joining us for this week's episode of the Halfbrick Show.
Coming up next time on the Halfbrick Show.
Wanna know a fun fact? At some point of the development, the Dark Master was about to be the final boss of the game.
I could see that. That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's